very much, Robin. Thank you. And thanks to Reimer for inviting me here today. We also have Sean over there in the corner, who I'm going to rely on for any detailed questions around FileNet's use of the feature plan technology. But what I'm here to discuss today is a recent initiative by FileNet to do a better job about how it brings product to market. So for those of you that don't know, FileNet's a company that was created around 1982, and at that time it had one product line, which was a high-end imaging product. Shortly thereafter, through organic growth, we added products to the line, and then more recently, through acquisition, we've added even more products to the point where we now have a portfolio of 57 individual product lines. So the job of managing those is much more challenging than it was back in 1982 when the company was established. So really, the agenda today is to take you through our PMM52 program, which is really all about managing that portfolio of products, bringing them to market, and also taking them out of the market when they're no longer of any use to our customer base. And how we're acting against that methodology, which is really the performance and achievements since we started to roll this out April last year. And then really, if there are any questions, I'm happy to handle those either throughout the session or at the end as you see fit. So without further ado, so early last year, really Q1, FileNet kicked up a couple of initiatives under the heading of a product lifecycle initiative. And those are bulleted on this slide here. So part of the product lifecycle initiative was to really get a better profit and loss handle on all of our product lines. So all of the 57 products that we had out there in the market, so that we could drive the products not through just what customers were saying, but also through the financial health of those products. So they had to support themselves in the market. We wanted to definitely improve our customer loyalty. We have a very loyal customer base, but we always feel we can do better in that area. And then the areas that I'm going to be focusing on really for the presentation are the last three, which is improving the life cycle efficiency of our products. So we were often very good at introducing new products to the market, but not so good at taking them out of the market at the end of it, which is part of the reason we have 57 products. And ensuring that we can prioritize new product content in a reasonable manner. And that certainly before Reimer was very ad hoc. And ultimately reducing time to market when we do bring out and introduce new products. So what we did was we had the equivalent of an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. And we invited a company who you may be familiar with called Booz Allen Hamilton. And they're specialists in coming into high tech and other organizations and figuring out the good bits and the bad bits and figuring out how to make the bad bits good bits. And so we had a diagnostic timeline or diagnostic phase, which was in the fall of 2004, where Booz Allen Hamilton literally spent many, many months with our directors and line of business people and people on the ground, product managers like myself, trying to understand how we operated in bringing products to market and managing those products in the market. So we did a series of deep dive views, and they came out with a bunch of prioritized recommendations. So that was phase one. It was understanding the problem and the current state of play. Phase two was actually starting to figure out how to mend some of the broken bits and reinforce the good bits and put a plan together for really revolutionizing how the company operates from a product marketing perspective. And the piece that I'm going to be focusing on specifically is we identified that some of the things we were doing in bringing products to market were really good, but a lot of it wasn't good and for the most part was inconsistent. Okay, we were doing things but maybe not consistently. And so we figured out the things that we wanted to keep and that made sense to keep and how to make them consistent, largely through the use of templates. So as an example, when we're looking at creating a new product or a new feature, we would go and grab an MRD template, but we had no consistent way of managing those templates. So the template that the person would use would be the last one that had been used by someone else. It wasn't necessarily best practice, it just was the most recent. But then we had a lot of areas where we were missing components altogether. So the underlying component